Air signs, this is your reading. The gift of foresight and unmade plans is the title of this reading. And this message came to me this morning while I was walking. And so much so that I had to stop and take notes on my phone. So I'm going to start the reading these notes, and then we'll dive in from the end of those. This is for all air sign placements: Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury, Ascendant, North Node, Saturn, Jupiter, Neptune, Pluto, and that delightful Uranus. Pronunciation at the viewer's discretion. If you were clicked here for the title, could be something for you here too. Cross watchers of the air signs even. This is what's been going on for you. And I feel like this is what you are emerging from Venus retrograde, which is stationed direct today. So the air signs I've been picking up on have been processing their new adaptation to what they felt throughout Venus retrograde. They felt estranged out of their normal depths of detachment. Now this retrograde, whilst it started in Aries in a more comfortable spot for most air signs, it retracted back into those later degrees of Pisces. And a lot of you felt estranged and out of your normal depth of detachment due to that. This actually required feeling, which in Pisces felt foreign and overwhelming heaviness at times. It was the escapism within that space that made it relatable to where it was actually coming from. But that was not without resistance. Could have been feeling very caught between that logic thought and that deep gut-wrenching feeling. And I feel like a lot of you were like, let me stay in the clouds. Don't force me to go and confront the child within me and give them an answer as to why they are trying to learn not to cry. Moving back through that 12th house, it was about really going back into something. And being an air sign, your logic mind has wanted to make sense of it all and be able to put it into a box, into categories as to why it's coming up or why you may be experiencing certain feelings. And this retrograde forced you to have to actually feel them. And you did. And now you can't unfeel it. I feel like for you it would be like looking in the mirror after losing your virginity. And you look at yourself with new eyes. There is a part of you that is now changed forever, a new core memory. But in this one you understand everything. And it's changed what you thought you knew about yourself. And for a lot of you, that's going to be that it was never shame. There was a part of you that always thought, and they really amplified that word thought, being the key word, not felt. You thought that you should be able to rationalize and that there was motive behind compartmentalizing your feelings into thoughts that can be labeled, rather than processing them from a feeling that sometimes you can't control, and we can't always control emotions or the feeling of what an emotion is and what it can do to us, how we're going to respond to it. And the retrograde taught you that sometimes we need to be able to lose control. Losing control to fighting against, and submit to how it makes you feel rather than why you are having that experience. And I feel like a lot of you really got in touch with yourself because it was either that or go on a path of self-destruction to try and block it out and to continue to suppress it. Whatever this is for you, like it went way back. It went way back. Like there's something that brought you to this point, but the actual reason why it had come back around was to really to get you in a new space, because there's a lot of you, that's not what I wanted to say, there's a lot of parts of you that have already ascended mentally, spiritually, but when it comes to physically, and we don't know, we can try to express emotions through words, but the only way we can correctly not justify them, the only way we can correctly interpret them is based on what we have felt. And when you haven't been feeling, how the fuck have you been able to put it to words? You haven't. So like for majority of your life, you've probably just kept opening this little, I'm picturing like Harry Potter's room under the stairs, and just kind of like throw it in there and close the door, because when it's out of sight, it's out of mind. And when it's both those things, you're not actually having to feel it. You can look at it and you know where it is, to continue and maintain that control that you have. But like a lot of you have come into this year after moving through things the past 2 years, even since the last Venus retrograde, and you've been adapting and probably really, I mean, I'd love to say reaping the benefits, but I think it's more been suffering the consequences of certain choices that were made throughout that last retrograde of Venus, and where you were at that point in life. And now you've been able to actually sit there. Like I feel like a lot of you maybe potentially have withdrawn from a lot of connections this year, because like logically and spiritually you've been able to follow through those good choices, and this is what's slowing you down. And it's slowing you down because being unreceptive, having your heart closed, is not how we're moving through that next cycle. It's not, because that would mean that you are not being true to you. And if there's anything that you have discovered over these past 2 years, it's that you can do nothing more but be true to you. And this is the one thing that keeps you stuck. And it could be that old blueprints of being taken advantage of. And it could be being put into a bedroom and having the door closed when you were a child, and feeling emotions. And knowing that when you were experiencing those emotions, that it was on you to figure them the fuck out and to work on them. There wasn't like support. What's happened? There wasn't talking through and processing and learning how to regulate those overwhelming feelings that aren't joy, that aren't happiness, that aren't funny. These are like our other parts of us that are just as important in our own development. And yeah, I feel like there's been a very hard exterior that's had to be built. Some would say resilience, but some would also say coping mechanisms that are starting to fall apart. And so a lot of you have dug deep, have gone deep these last few weeks, and you're finding now like it's like hard to go back to where you were. Like there's a lot of you that probably wish, oh my god, I wish I could just do that low vibe action right now and avoid and block everything out. But no, now that you've learned how to feel, like you're feeling a lot more, and you're starting to recognize now any emotion that comes through you that may differ to the blocking out, and that's because you're opening yourself up to not only being vulnerable to others, but to being vulnerable to yourself, to being able to own how you feel at any given time. And I feel like now it's like with this stationing direct planets, Saturn being there as well, really speaking to Venus and being like, you come through to the other side now. I'm going to tell you the best way to do it. And Venus is like, there's something deepening and ripening within me. Like, yes, I am open to your guidance because I know that it will lead me to where I ultimately want to be. But I am already getting real about this. And as I make my way towards the end of this house, I'm leaving no stone unturned within myself. Deep air signs. I feel like this is like new for you. A lot of you can get deep with your conversations, 100%. But a lot of you also shy away from when it comes to being able to speak from your heart in how you're actually feeling about a situation. Because if I get vulnerable, then I'm allowing you in. And a lot of other signs pride the air signs on and admire their ability to be able to remain composed in heightened states. That doesn't mean that you don't need to also be able to feel things. And you're really discovering this about yourself now, is that all the times where you downplayed what was going on for you for the simple fact of your own pride of not wanting to open up. But I feel like a lot of you are feeling at your peak when it comes to feeling whole within yourself. What's this? When you're showing up here, King of Swords. Yeah. This Tower is like an overwhelm of emotions. And a lot of you could have even screamed into a pillow at one point there. And, you know, you've grown so much in the way that you can now not only withdraw, like you've always been able to withdraw quite well, but your ability now to withdraw to get in touch with yourself. No suppressing, no self-sabotaging, no like escaping with the material, and you know, you've been able to navigate going within and understanding that it's not just about, you know, reading the latest Deepak Chakra book. It's not about just listening to whoever you listen to. It's not all about what we hear and what we see. It's more so now about incorporating that with how you feel. Because when you're trusting how you feel, it's like you've learned a new way to tap into yourself, to feel your intuition. There's probably always been like a deep knowing, but it's because there's been a lot of noise and there's been a lot of quieting those other senses for yourself. You've mistaken it for thought, when this whole time it's that feeling has always been there. It's just that now you are receptive to it and you're not trying to understand it or to rationalize it or to categorize it and, you know, try and make it make sense. You're not worried about that now because you understand what you want to feel and you're learning to trust what you want to feel, how you do feel, and also like when you're not feeling something. And like there was resistance. You sort of had to like halt because otherwise you were like actually going to completely just have a bit of chill time throughout the retrograde. Oh yes, another one. Let's all get 2 steps ahead with this communication fail. No, this time it was like, oh, hello darkness, my old friend. Interrupted there. And I've lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry, air sign. But this is what it could be like for you now. Like you're realizing all the distractions that have really like stopped you from going into yourself. That avoidance. And that's what I was going to say, the resistance here. It's like all lines of movement and momentum stopped throughout this time period for you. And you have like sat back and really just been absorbing all this stuff and looking at yourself. And like knowing now like how you've often been overlooked too, being overlooked with your feelings, and their coping mechanism, the learning to block out your feelings, has subconsciously like attracted in people that also block out feelings or will never validate. And you have not minded that kind of relationship up until now, because that has like allowed you to continue on your cycle of not opening up about how you're actually feeling and looking at things as to why you're feeling that certain way. Why am I resentful around my parents? And like, it's within this now that like, if you've been holding back on forgiveness within your linear or within your family line, like, this is what is actually allowing you the momentum to let it go. And coming into this full moon in Libra, like, you are learning how to balance out like what's going on within you between like your mind and your body, and where you've been living only in the head in a lot of ways. Like, you are now on that Aries momentum, Aries time, where you are moving forward like from that ascended space, looking at things with fresh eyes like a child, taking your first steps into, oh wait, you mean I'm allowed to cry here? And you're softening, and it's bringing in that balance between the masculinity that comes with being an air sign. And now you're learning how to get in touch and balance out those aspects of yourself. And I just saw 2222. It was like time really paused on that just then. So that number could be significant for you. Someone could be 44, someone could be 22, or someone could be seeing that combination of the twos right now. What else have we got here, air sign? What else is going on for air signs? What are the unmade plans? I can delve to that. Unmade plans. I feel like these are more like learning to unmake plans, because you guys love to plan and to have a full itinerary of events and socializing and learning. What are the unmade plans for the air signs? What do they involve? A lot about to come out then. I feel like it is something that's like a pause. The unmade plans are going to be something that you see very superficial. And you're seeing like how when you're spending time, you actually want to be genuinely spending time and nourishing different things. We've got Death in reverse, King of Cups in reverse, the Devil, and the Three of Pentacles in reverse. So we've got some Scorpio Cancer energy here, some Capricorn energy. You could be dealing with any of those signs, or you could also have those signs in your own chart. But the unmade plans are like habits. They're like things that aren't particularly good for you, that you have continued to do for a long period of time. Maybe it's I feel like this is also part of that that talk that Saturn's currently having above you guys right now. And if you could have like a little devil on one side and a little angel on the other side, like these are what would be going through your mind now, because now that you are acting from a place of feeling, you are ruffling feathers. And, you know, you're not meeting other people's needs by not wanting to do the same things, because it's been quite a benefit for other people for you to be doing anything but, you know, something deeper than the same old thing. And if you don't, like, if you continue to follow in these plans, like there's going to be manipulation, being taken advantage of. It's stagnant. It's like it's like seeing a carcass of an animal, and it's filled with dirt because it's been lying there for forever and a day, to the point where like grass roots have started going through it, and like the wildflowers have started to grow through, and they're like having to really force themselves through this hard exterior to try and show their beauty. But like it's being overlooked because it's a dead carcass on the ground. Like you would be overlooked in life, and what you are trying to achieve within yourself and what you have already achieved, if you continue to entertain these plans, this is where you are going to be reflecting and being like, why did I let that pass me by? Because I really wasn't even enjoying myself. And I really wasn't enjoying the company that surrounded me while doing it. And it's not even like it's that they're terrible people. It's that they only want to go so far. They only want to go so far, and you want more than that. It's like the only way that they can collaborate is to, over toxicity, like trauma bonding. And like I'm seeing more here, the chains too, in the devil card. It's like it's you. I can't, that just completely went out from my head there, but it's, how can I word this? it's you not talking up. It's you not to say politely, it's you needing to be braver enough to go and follow through. It's being able to be in a position to get real with yourself as to, it doesn't mean that I am not fun. I am a fucking badass person. But like, it's now time for me to get real about what, there are healthy obsessions that could actually be giving back to me rather than taking from me. And how can I incorporate my my other side of me? And maybe that's due to the fact that like you're also experiencing that, well, I'm this old, like I should have like XYZ friends right now. I should have like a partner. And it's this comparison to where you think you need to be, rather than like releasing that and what you've just discovered about yourself and being okay to trust that you're exactly where you need to be. And we've done the feeling shit vibe now enough to know that this too shall pass. And you know it will. And the peace that you've gained, like at what point over these past 6 weeks have you actually wanted any of these people around you? That's what you're asking yourself right now. So air signs, a lot of new coming through for you, and unmake the plans.